Well, he's had postings in various places in the world on temporary assignments when he accompanies State Department personnel. His main focus of activity has been on the East Coast, and he's based in Washington.
Can you tell me where he's been? He's probably been all around the world.
I don't know if he's been all around the world, but he's been in various places in the world. I probably don't have authority to discuss the specifics, so I won't.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What do you want, like I said before we go into this incident, what do you want us to know about your client as a person?
I want you to know that he is a trained and responsible federal law enforcement agent who has a great deal of remorse about having to use his weapon in self-defense on November 5th, and who was focused and professionally responsible and somber about this incident. He took no joy in the situation that arose in that McDonald's. But beyond that, it would be irresponsible for me to comment on the specifics, as perhaps others have, because we're just starting the case. And I think that we're entitled to get discovery in the case after the arraignment, which is Monday. And after we have the discovery, then we'll have a better idea of what happened, rather than listening to those who are just speculating or making hearsay statements. There's been a lot of misperceptions reported in the media, and the reason I'm doing this interview is because I'm concerned that we get a fair jury panel whenever it is that this case is tried. And we can't get a fair jury panel if people are out there, in effect, spreading rumors about what happened or what may have happened or what they think happened or what somebody who wasn't there said happened. That's not an effective way to inform the community about a case that's going to need a fair and impartial jury on some occasion.
You say that he feared for his life and the life of others. Can you just give us a general idea of why?
Well, there were activities in the McDonald's that he responded to as a law enforcement officer. And in the context of that, he developed fear for his life as he was attacked, and the lives of others, because other people were nearby or involved in the incident, and others were injured. Nothing that Mr. Dede did, but that person's presence caused. But beyond that, I think, as I said before, it'd be irresponsible to comment, and I'm not going to.
There's this report of a knife being found at the scene. Do you know anything about that?
I do, and I think it's fair to say, because Mr. Dede quickly identified the small knife as the knife he used to cut off Mr. Eldert's clothing to provide first aid to him. The knife itself was not involved in the incident.
Or precipitating the incident or anything?
Well, there may well have been some sharp-edged objects, but that particular knife that everybody speculated about is something that was used to render first aid.
I see. That's interesting. What about, we've heard from a number of people, and not just Mr. Green, that Mr. Dede had been drinking before this incident. What can you tell us?
Well, we're investigating to see whether that is so, and if so, if drinking had any impact on Mr. Dede's behavior. Mr. Dede is a responsible officer whose activities that evening were taken in the course of what he believed was a proper action. So we'll find out more, but I've no further comment on that at this time.
And then the police had told us that he did refuse to take a blood alcohol test.
Well, they offered that, and as every citizen has the right not to engage in testing or activity with the police without counsel, Mr. Dede exercised his right to remain silent, and without counsel determined that he shouldn't do such a thing. and that's appropriate.
The let's see what else. He stayed here since this whole thing.
Yeah, sure.
He stayed in Hawaii. So.
He's here. He's going to show up at all his court appearances and do whatever is demanded of him to cooperate with the judicial and investigative process.
Do you know about everyone's been asking me this, and I don't know the answer to this, what the State Department policy is about when he can carry a gun or when he shouldn't, or should he always have a gun even when he's off duty? What can you tell us about that?
I think that's a matter that's still under investigation, and we'll know more as the days pass.
Okay. And he's still employed by the State Department?
He is.
And on leave with pay while they investigate?
He is. Right? And I think they want him to come back to work as soon as he's able. Now, obviously, if he's convicted of serious offenses, he won't be going to work. He'll be going to prison. But if he's acquitted, he will continue in his chosen profession.
And he wants to do that?
Absolutely.
And you say his bosses want him to come back?
Everybody who I've heard from says yes.